This morning on BRN, how do social skills affect the daily life of people with Alzheimer's dementia? Joining me now to discuss this and a lot more, Andy Sommerlad and Debbie Moll of the Oxford Health National Trust. Andy, Debbie, great to see you. Thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, and this is an important topic, an important study. Andrew, I want to start with you because there's a lot of information and a lot of studying being done on Alzheimer's and dementia. And just a basic question, how do social skills affect the daily life of someone who is inflicted with this horrendous disease?
Yeah, we think that's a really important question. And what I would say is I think we have some understanding of how social skills and relationships are affected in different types of dementia, but it's an area that probably has been understudied compared to some other aspects of dementia. So I think we felt when putting together this study that actually this is one of the most important areas. For all of us, our social relationships are incredibly important. They're what make us who we are. And so if we think about developing a condition like Alzheimer's disease, the idea that our relationships might be affected is really distressing and something that we wanted to look more into. We know that there are some changes in the way in which people, when they develop different types of dementia, perceive aspects of social relationships. So, for example, they might find it more difficult to recognize and respond to social cues in conversations, and that can have a potentially damaging effect because it might make it more difficult to have a natural conversation. We also think that some other aspects are really quite well maintained. So lots of people with forms of dementia can continue to engage really well with social relationships, can continue to manage those areas really well. So the short answer is it varies, but we feel like it's something that needs more study.
Yeah, and to Andrew's point, Debbie, you all are going to be undertaking a pretty comprehensive study around the impact. Tell us a little bit about what the study will entail, who's involved in the study in terms of the number of patients or those inflicted with Alzheimer's and the different demographics involved.
Sure, this is a study that we've been working on with Andrew, and it will involve, I think it's 209 people with Alzheimer's, mainly early Alzheimer's, and they take part with a friend or family member who knows them well. And we see them in the community, so it's lovely because we can go and see people in their homes, and we have some questionnaires about their sort of social functioning, their social life, and some videos that are asking that they're exploring their people's ability to see to sort of see what other people are thinking and feeling. And that helps add to this picture of what might be behind this possible impact that people with dementia see on their social functioning and social relationships and so on. So we see people at the beginning of the study, and then we see them a year later to complete some similar questionnaires. And then we also have a chat with their friend or family member at 4 months and 8 months to see how people are getting on in the meantime as well.
Yeah, and Andrew, I mean, this, I've read studies and stories about people kind of use it through music and other sensory engagements, kind of retapping into some of those maybe lost memories. This study, this social interaction could really form the basis of a treatment like that. So a non-drug or non-prescriptive treatment for the disease.
Well, that's what we absolutely hope is the long-term kind of consequence of a study like this. There's pretty good evidence to show that that being socially active is beneficial for your brain health. So people, well, older people who don't have dementia, so general group of older people who are more socially active are less likely to develop dementia in the long run and maintain better cognitive abilities. So we think that that's because it's great exercise for your brain to talk to other people. There's, people are interested in doing things like crosswords or puzzles and games that might keep their brain active. There's nothing more challenging and demanding for our brain than speaking to other people, because we've got to remember what they're saying. We've got to think about, their perspective. We've got to, use language, use humor. So all of that suggests that actually it's a really positive thing to be able to keep socially active for everyone as they're getting older, and it seems likely that that's the case for people as you develop dementia as well. And as Debbie was saying, the concern around the possible withdrawal from social relationships that occurs with some people when they develop dementia, if we can find a way to try and reverse that, maintain better social relationships and functioning by understanding what are the causes of those changes, then that, we hope, has the potential to have a really positive impact.
Yeah, and Debbie, as we were talking, what occurred to me is people use, even older people in their 70s, 80s, they use their phones. So social interaction isn't no longer me talking to my wife every morning, or my wife talking to me, which is typically how it goes. Now people are interacting on their phones. Does the study account for that social media or that social interaction that through video, through FaceTime, if you have an Apple product or some other medium? Does it account for that type of socialization?
Yes, so some of the questionnaires that we're asking do ask about socializing with people through phone and through video call and those areas. There is also a sub-study for this research project as well, which I think Andrew might be best placed to share about, because his site has been mostly involved in that part of this research study.
Yeah,
Andrew, perfect segue to you.
Thanks. So we've been trying to invite some people who are participating in the study to use a mobile phone application that collects additional data, where we are able to find out actually in more detail how much people are using their phones for text messages, WhatsApp, video calls, telephone calls, and see how that changes over time. Because, as you say, that's something that we're all much more habituated to, and it feels like a useful source of information. There is, I suppose, increasing potential use in the future of using technologies like that to identify changes, for people. So, one of the things I guess we're interested in knowing, can we see from people's phone use whether their social lives are changing? We're not sure. It's difficult. I would say it's been difficult finding people who use their phones often enough and want to take part in it. So it's an early stage of research, but it's certainly something that's important.
Yeah, I feel like we learned a lot during the pandemic. Whether you're here in the States or in the UK or wherever, there was a lot of that social connection. It's not the same, at least in my perspective. I like being around other people. Although here I am in the studio away from you all, but I do feel some level of connection, and so it'll be interesting to see what the future holds. Debbie, just from a timeline perspective, how long does the study go, and then how long till the actual results come out that you all can look at that and start to take away important points?
So officially, we sort of closed to recruitment in April 2025, so April next year. However, it's been a really popular study, and we've found that a lot of people have been really keen to take part. I think it's a very motivating area for a lot of people. So we've been recruiting people at a much faster rate than we anticipated at the beginning. So we're thinking that we'll hopefully recruit our last participants around November time, so a couple of months. Then people then have their 12-month follow-up, obviously a year later. And then at that point, we should sort of have the full data set to then find out, yes, what we can learn from this information and how it might help people in the future.
Yeah, I can understand. There are a lot of people that are inflicted with, or have families that are afflicted this disease, and that's great that you're getting the reaction that you are getting in terms of patients, and we look forward to certainly hearing the results. Andrew, Debbie, we're going to have to leave it there. Thanks so much for joining us, and we look forward to having you back on the program when the results are in very soon.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
And don't forget to subscribe to our daily newsletter, The Morning Pulse, for all the news in one place. Details are at our website. And we're back again tomorrow for another edition of BRN. Until then, I'm Jeff Snyder. Stay safe, keep on saving, and don't forget, roll with the changes.